Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the session of eMigr8, eMigr8 Open Day. Quickly send text messages, reach out to your friends, colleague, neighbors that we're on. We're live now, eMigr8 Open Day, May edition. Right, today we'll be talking about migrating to the UK, and we have a special guest in the house who is a data scientist. So for all you data enthusiasts, if you have friends that are in the data science field, data science, data analytic field, data enthusiasts generally, they want to be on this session, please extend invite to them. Right. Thank you for joining. We'll start exactly 8 o'clock, so I would not waste any time. I'll tell you about eMigr8 and I'll go through some of the packages you can interact with, that you can engage with on the eMigr8 platform. Then I'll bring on our guest. We're going to spend about an hour, 30 minutes together this evening, just sharing information, sharing knowledge around migrating to the UK, around data science, and generally taking questions from everybody and trying to answer as much as possible. We're not immigration coach, right? We just share information, we just share knowledge that we have based on the success rate that we've gotten from people applying for various visa routes using technology as a platform, right? So what we're going to be sharing are informations that we have, right? But we also ask you to go fact check those information, to go online, to read, to ask questions far and wide as regards to eMigr8, as regards to you migrating to new climate, new economy, getting jobs outside of your local economy and stuff like that. So welcome to today's eMigr8 session, right? We have a few people coming in. All right. Welcome, welcome. Today we're talking about going global, expanding your reach from Africa within the UK Global Talent Visa. And we have a special guest in the house. His name is Derek, and he's going to be joining us, joining the conversation in about 20 minutes, right? So first, let me tell you about eMigr8. At eMigr8, we enable, what we offer is tech-enabled pathway to applicant to guys in the tech space to be able to relocate or relocate towards settlement, relocate towards work, relocate towards expanding their frontier. So what we do is to give you a tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement, right, at eMigr8. What we are doing today, we're talking about going global, expanding your reach from Africa within the UK Global Talent Visa. That's what we are going to be focusing on today. We're going to also give you update on some of the visa, like eMigr8's technician visa updates. We're going to be sharing some of those with you. Move to the UK, right? It's also one of the visa route that we are promoting. Move to the UK with Innovator Founder Visa. That is also available. And we have gift to everyone who stay to the end usually, right? So if you stay to the end, we have gift for you that you will find very useful, right? So our focus is tech-enabled opportunities. So if you're looking out for other opportunities that are not tech-related, we might not be able to help you, right? So if you're looking out for educational routes to migration and every other route, arts, and the likes, we might not be able to help you. Our focus is on tech-enabled visa opportunity. Today we'll be talking about going global. So going global with your ideas, going global with your career, and even relocating to a global market. Those are some of the conversations we're going to be having today. Previously, we've talked about migrating to the US, and we've had coaches come in to tell us how to navigate those routes. We've talked about migrating to Australia. We've talked about migrating to even the UK, right? And we have a rich body of work, a rich body of well-documented sessions of that we've gone through on YouTube. So with a simple Google search on YouTube, you'll find useful materials, and they are free, right? You can find useful materials that would enrich you, and you can take advantage of those, right? In the subsequent and next editions coming up, we'll be looking at Innovator Founder Visa. That is the new visa route. That's the startup visa that has been upgraded to Innovator Visa, right? We'll be talking about in our next edition. And also coming soon, we'll be looking at sections on the UK Tech Nation visa, which is again the global talent. We're also going to be looking at move to the UK as a global talent, move to Canada with leveraging on the Canada startup visa, and move to France, leveraging on the French tech visa. So pay attention. We'll be giving you updates, announcements, as we fix those dates. Right, so stay glued to our social media channels, stay glued to our mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, we'll be giving information with regards to when we'll bring those sessions. So like I said, eMigr8's specialty is tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. So what is eMigr8? We help people become globally attractive. That's what we do fundamentally, leveraging on tech. So we build your tech profile, we build your tech business, we help you, we coach you through your tech business, we help you appraise yourself correctly and build a significant and tech profile that will be globally attractive, right? And the side effect of being globally attractive is that nations and economies will extend visas to you. So the visa, like we say, is only a side effect of the objective. The objective is to make you globally attractive. So you can decide to say, I want to only get jobs in a global market, or I want to only pitch my ideas or my startup in a global market. I don't want to relocate. But you can also say, I want to relocate and I want to go start my business, my startup in a different market. eMigr8 is that platform. As long as we're talking tech, eMigr8 is that platform that you can leverage on. What does eMigr8 service cover? We have general information, general inquiry session, information session, like the one we're having now. So today is eMigr8 Open Day, right? Where we're giving out information free. We're answering general questions, answering to general inquiry. But we also have coaching and hand-holding sessions, right? We also have preliminary assessment for qualification status. So if you want to know if you have what it takes to apply for any of the global talent visas or any of the tech visas out there, we have sessions where we can go through your qualification and your status. We also have sessions where we sit with you and design what we call self-directed roadmap to qualify you for a tech-enabled visa. So for the founders in the house, for the new in tech in the house, we have a slot for everybody. So if you're new in tech, if you're a founder, you've been in tech for a while, right? We can sit with you and curate a self-directed roadmap that will help you qualify for technician or tech-enabled visa. We have roadmap to becoming globally attractive, right? We can look at your profile, look at where you are. If you are a startup, if you're an enthusiast, we can come up with a roadmap with you and work with you with our coaches to make sure you come to a goal where we can say you are globally attractive, right? And we have visas, tech visas that we have sessions. We built sessions around. We talked about a few before now. One of them is the Global Talent Visa. We help to review application around Global Talent Visa. We help to also review endorsement review process. So, for example, you're done with your application and you need somebody to proofread it. We have coaches in the house that would assist you. And if you haven't started and you're just putting together your documentation for Technician or UK Global Talent, we have coaches in the house that can also assist you. So our services are divided mainly into two categories, right? We have the free services, which is information and inspiration sessions. And these are free sessions like the eMigr8 Open Day that we're having today. It's a free session, so take advantage of it. We have the eMigr8 community, which is on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on LinkedIn. They're all free sessions. We have eMigr8 Open Day. We have introductory videos online. They're all free. We have eMigr8 Open Consultation, which is also a free session. We have visa-specific hours. These are free sessions that you can, with a short inquiry, you can find out and you can get a slot on when you can come in and speak to a coach. So if you're interested, you can go to bincom.net/emigrate to register, and we would contact you and put you through to the necessary, depending on your inquiry, we'll put you in touch with a coach who can walk you through. Now, we also have the premium package. This is centered around people that are very busy, you're switching careers, and you don't have the time to sort of spend online. We have a premium service for you that you can leverage on. Again, the eMigr8 Circle is a fantastic community you want to belong to, because we constantly share information, constantly give updates on what is new, what are the updates around tech visas, what are the updates around, like for example, technicians have updates. We're constantly sharing those updates, right? We also have personalized coaching sessions, which typically is between 30 minutes to 1 hour, right? We have standard package where we review and also give introductions, right, for applicants who are looking to access one of the tech visa or the other. And we also have eMigr8 Premium Service, which is a full-fledged program where we can take you from beginner or intermediary level to becoming a fully globally attractive talent, right? Then we also have custom services that tailors to your specific need, that can be tailored to your specific need. And for if that sounds like what you would rather be invested in, go to blog.bincom.net /eMigr8 pricing. That will take you straight to our premium community, and you would be put in contact with a coach who will work with you and walk through a specific timeline where we'll deliver where we can say to you that you are now globally attractive, based off of your tech profile that has improved, based off of your business positioning that has improved, and based on some key metrics that we will work towards together, right? eMigr8 packages, between the freemium and the premium process, like I said, we also have, packages that specifically talks to moving to the UK, for example. Like today, we're going to be talking about move to the UK as a global talent, right? Going global, with specifically looking at UK global talent. That's a package we have within the eMigr8 community. We also have moved to the UK as an innovator founder, right, which is also specific to UK, focus on startup owners, innovators. That is the focus of that visa. We also have moved to the US as a global talent. Now, the country of focus here is, of course, the US, and this is focused on the US O1 visa for individuals with extraordinary ability or achievement. I typically say to people, when you see extraordinary ability or achievement, don't log yourself out just yet, because if you go through your contribution to your ecosystem, you might find that you have significant achievement that qualifies you to apply for such visa, right? So speak to a coach before you decide if you qualify or not, right? Then move in 2023. We have tech-enabled visa pathway that you can explore between the UK, US, Canada, France, Germany, and some European country, Portugal, in the list also. So depending on the unique circumstances where you want to go and why you want to go there, we can build a custom program that suits those economy and take a look at what those economy is looking out for and build your profile to fit those economy and makes you position you in such a way that you're attractive in those tech economy, tech ecosystem that you want to migrate to, right? Remember, like I said, our goal is to make it globally attractive, and the visa is the side effect of becoming globally attractive. I talked about the eMigr8 community. We have our community on WhatsApp. We have our community on Telegram. We have a community on Facebook. We have a community on LinkedIn. We have a rich community on YouTube where we have a lot of documentations, videos of past and even past sessions on YouTube that you can take advantage of. We're going to be sharing the link on the chat so you can join any of these community. But I urge you to be very active in those communities, to chat, to comment, to join, to share, to like, to participate, to post, to invite friends. A couple of people have won themselves free coaching sessions for just being active and just being engaging on the platform. A couple of people have gotten significant information for being active and asking questions and getting a lot of clarification. So when you join this community, don't just become idle and silent, right? We only are able to engage with you when you ask questions and when you are interacting on those platforms. So like, share, comment, join the conversation as often as you can, and definitely you'll see improvements within your own profile, within the tech ecosystem that you belong to. Right. So eMigr8 is incubated by Bincom Dev Center, and Bincom Dev Center also have other packages that makes you globally attractive. One of such package is the Bincom Global Tech Program. This is a 1 to 2 year program that offers you a platform where you can learn skills, tech skills, a platform where you can gain exposure, a platform where you can gain experience, because you're going to be working on real life products, real life projects, right? And so it's you learning tech at your pace. It's you learning tech, from the beginning. It's you learning tech. If you are even in intermediary phase, you can join that platform. If you go to bincom.net/global tech, that will take you to the platform, and with a simple registration, we will get in touch with you and we can take it from there, right? We also have a package which we call Become a Tech Talent, right? This we offer tech training, and this is priced at about £175 per month, right? Where we'll train you in your specific area of interest and within tech. We have individual tech career coaching session, right? We also have tech apprenticeship within UK companies. We also have other features and benefits within the package that makes you become a tech talent. So if you're looking out for internship in the UK, if you're looking out for tech career coaching session to become globally attractive and position yourself rightly within the UK market, within even the US market, I would say to you, join the tech, become a tech talent. Bincom.net/global tech also is where you want to go to register, or simply send a message to the number on the slide. All right. Send a message to that number. It's a UK number, so remember to put a +44 when you're sending a message to it, and we will get in touch with you once we receive your message of interest. All right. Other services from Bincom also include the Bincom mentoring platform, right? Do you know that being a mentor can qualify you for a tech visa? Right? Some of the criteria that most of the endorsing body look out for is, how have you mentored anybody, right? Do you have mentees, or have you contributed? How have you given back to the ecosystem you currently belong to? And this is an opportunity for you to give back, to have mentees, to mentor. For those of us that are already in tech for 5 years, 6 years, you've been building your tech career, probably time to start giving back, right? So you can join the Bincom mentoring platform. It gives you a structured platform where you can mentor your mentees. And if you're a tech enthusiast in the house and you're looking for mentor, it's also a platform where you can register your interest to say, I'm looking for a mentor in the data science. I'm looking for a mentor in Python. I'm looking for a mentor in back-end or front-end product management, as the case may be, depending on your area of interest. And we'll pair you with a mentor in that field specifically, right? So if that is your interest, right, I'm going to drop the link to the mentorship platform on the chat, and you can click on the link to join and register for the Bincom mentoring platform, right? And the Bincom also have a very fantastic product called Last by Bincom. Most of the endorsing bodies, specifically speaking to the UK, for example, they are profiling people with digital, that have experience or have delivered a digital-led product or a product-led digital technology, right? So a product that is leveraging on digital technology. it's what they are looking out for. So what Last by Income does for you is to give you an opportunity to build a startup, build a product from scratch, right? And build it with a team within 3 to 6 months. So for us that are, you are not exactly in products, you are not exactly in a digital-led company, right? This is an opportunity for you to join a cohort where you can build a startup, build a product from scratch, from ideation to go to market. And you can take this product and add it to your portfolio of product that you have contributed to, that you have built. So Last by Income is a fantastic, well-structured platform where you pair up, join a cohort, pair up with other cohort members, and you choose an idea you want to work on, and you work on that idea from ideation. So it's like you building a startup from the scratch to go to market level. Bincom.net/labs is where you want to go to. That will give you access to joining any of the cohorts that you choose to belong to, right? Now, tech career coaching service is also available on the Bincom platform, right? For tech employment and recruitment services for individual, right? If you want to land your next role, if you want to land a role first, if you're looking at other economies, if you're looking at other ecosystem, if you want to build relevant experience in a different country or your target country, if you want to connect with tech recruiters within the UK, within the US, within Germany, and you want jobs with work visa sponsorship, right? So tech career coaching services available to you. This is where you want to log on to bincom.net/tech career coaching. This gives you an opportunity to get an insight into what is obtainable in the target country you want to go to. It gives you an idea what the tech recruiters within a specific market are looking for. So for example, what the UK market is looking for is different from what the German market is looking for, is different from what the US market is looking for. And you want to be able to have those insights, have those knowledge to position yourself rightly to becoming attractive to recruiters within your target country or within your target market. And that will make you land or help you land your next career role faster. All right. So take advantage of those opportunities. We're going to be putting links on the chat, and you'll find even with a simple Google search, you'll find some of those links online, because a lot of people have gone through this process. We have testimonials from people that have gone through the individual platforms that I've just talked about. Also, we also have just to speak directly to the visa route that we have that leads to relocation and settlement. We have the startup visa, which is now the UK Innovator Founder Visa. They've been merged together. So Innovator Visa and Startup Visa has been merged together to right now, and it's now called the UK Innovator Founder Visa. Right? We have that for UK specific enthusiasts. If you're looking at migrating to the UK, you want to look at that. We also have for the UK, we have Tech Talent Visa, and we have a skilled workers route for anyone can apply as a skilled worker and you get a job and you get sponsorship, visa sponsorship. That also is available. We have coaches that can talk you and walk you through any of those visa route. If you're interested in any of those, log on to any of our communities, whether through WhatsApp, through LinkedIn, and we can connect with you and plug you in and link you to a coach that can walk you through any path that you want to, any of this visa path. We also have for the US, the O1 visa and the EB2 visa. And for the US, we have startup visa for Canada, the French tech visa for France, and we have visas for other European country, custom made for any individual that wants to take a look at it. So if you have interest in migrating to Portugal, to migrate to Germany, to migrate to Spain, we have digital nomad visas for those countries. And even migrating to the UAE, there are digital nomad visas, and we have coaches that have experienced success in applying for those visas, and they have testimonial of people who have applied for this visa, and they can walk you through so you don't have to stumble through alone, right? So like I said, this is not an exhaustive list of what we can do. It's just to let you know that these are available, and we also have much more depending on your specific need, depending on what you're looking at for. Remember, our goal is to make you globally attractive. And once you are globally attractive, you can decide to go to any country of your choice, as long as they have digital nomad visa or they have tech-enabled visa, right? The common denominator across each of the visa routes and the common denominator across each of the packages that Bincom offers is that we are trying to make you globally attractive, right? The goal is to make you globally attractive. That's a significant goal. And if you decide to migrate when you become globally attractive, that is a decision up to you. But what we are focused on is to make sure you are globally attractive. Now, eMigr8 visa opportunity focus on pathway to settlement, right? Most of the visa opportunity will give you, we guarantee you pathway to settlement, and we guarantee you moving with your family. And again, we are focused on tech-enabled visa, but we are also not just focused on people that are 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 10 years in the tech ecosystem. We are also focusing on the beginners. We have plans, we have roadmap plans that any beginner can take a look at, design a path for themselves within our beginner plan, and they can become globally attractive over time. And we can discuss in depth what the beginner's plans will look like. Once you join our communities and you let us know, hey, I'm a beginner, I'm trying to become globally attractive, and I'm looking at this nation, I'm looking at this economy to migrate to, we'll definitely get in touch with you, and a coach will definitely speak with you. Now, we can discuss in depth. We have discussed in depth various pathways from the US to Australia to the UK. We have discussed in depth and we have videos online, right? So with a simple Google search, and this is free video, free sessions you can go through. If you're looking at the O1 or EB2 visa, we have sessions on YouTube. If you're looking at the Australian visa, Tech Nation visa, we have sessions on YouTube. If you're looking at the UK migrating startup visa, innovator visa, we have sessions around those online also. So please take advantage of this opportunity. Now, for everyone in the room, right? One of the questions that usually bugs enthusiasts or people like me is that, do I qualify? How do I qualify? Is there someone like me that has qualified? What do I need to do? Who can point me through? And all of these questions, most of the times, limit us from taking that first step forward. But we have Derek in the house. Hi, Derek. Derek is going to be sharing his journey with us, all right, how he heard about the Global Tech Program and how he navigated, the twists and turns, the difficult moment, the easy path. He's going to be sharing those knowledge with us, and hopefully we're able to learn from Derek's experience, and we can, take the conversation forward once Derek is done. So please write down your questions. As Derek is speaking, please drop your questions in the chat. We will have enough time to go through those questions. Derek will answer as much as possible, and we'll pitch in here and there just to give you clarity around the UK Tech Talent Visa. That's the focus. Going global is the theme. Expanding your reach. Your reach can be your skill type, can be your business. It can be you expanding your frontiers physically into the UK from Africa. So welcome, Derek. I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
To give you the floor. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much. And good evening to everyone on the call. Good to have you here.
Yeah.
I think for us, it's an opportunity anytime we sort of need to share a journey with everyone, because like I always say, opportunities in our part of the world is quite limited. And so the few ones that we get to have, we need to be sharing so that we sort of encourage others to also get to know more about it. Yeah, so my name is Derek. I'm a Ghanaian and I'm a data scientist. So I have technically started my data science journey in Ghana. and I relocated to the UK and the Global Talent Visa in July 2022. I will begin by sharing insight into what their journey has been. I mean, of course, such journey demands a lot of work. And so obviously it's something that started with some sort of ups and downs. But I mean, it's quite encouraging to also appreciate the fact that every career that you want to have will definitely have its own ups and downs. And so I just, as you begin having this, you're supposed to just understand that these are some of the things that you go through, just as you want to have such a career. And so my career just began, or my career in data science began because I had my undergraduate studies in actuarial science. So basically, actuarial science is something that's quite broader, but it introduces you to more mathematics about statistics and probabilities. And you get to know much about risk analysis. You have an opportunity to know more about life contingencies, like kind of communication. We learned a lot about accounting, economics. I mean, these are the very foundation that gives you a leverage. And so in as much as you want to divert into different paths, you are able to do so. But then again, data science comes in here because data science itself isn't much about computing. It has not so much roots in computing. It has its basics mostly in statistics. And so when you are more technically good with statistics, you always have a good way to navigate your way through. And this for me was a fortunate one because of my undergraduate studies. And so when I began delving so much into data science, after, in Ghana, instead of the NYSC that you guys do in Nigeria, we do the national service, which is a compulsory one. So after the national service, I was back to school to read my MBA. And I specialize in management information systems. And this actually brought in my interest in data science because in management information system also, we look at deploying solutions or systems, but not only from the technical point of view, but also from the human point of view. So you get to appreciate the two sides when it comes to developing solutions or deploying systems, just not to be taught technical, but to make sure that the human element is much more interested or much more engaged. That's why when you want to deploy a system, you are likely to be more focused on making sure that the stakeholders who are going to use it are able to be brought into it before you can actually deploy a successful system. So all of these, between 2017, 2018, were the things that actually got me much more interested in data science. And personally for me, doing this, it was more of learning while I'm also learning with others. So in one of the things that we did earlier was to form a club on campus, where this club was much more about anything data science. And so people who were joining were also learning from us, how we're also learning. And we did have a lot of boot camps during vacation, just to make sure that we're able to have more people all getting involved in this. And I can tell you that a lot more of young students who were then doing their undergraduate studies did benefit from all of these initiatives. And as time went on, they all showed so much interest in data science, and most of them has taken their forward. Some of them are reading their masters in data science. Some of them are still doing very well in the data science field. So in as much as this goes on, the point is when you are starting, you start on a small medium, and then as you go on, you get exposed to people, you get exposed to other learning that you don't know about, you get exposed to platforms. So with some of these platforms, just as we speak on, you get to meet other people, including employers, including people who become later what we call recommenders. And all of these networks are the ones that everyone need to be able to have a successful journey, whether in data science, data architect, becoming a data engineer, AI engineer, machine learning engineer, any of the field that you want to find yourself, analyst, like all of that, you need such people. And these are the people like you meet them when you speak on platforms, when they invite you for a program where you probably have to mentor other young ones to be able to also find their career path to be able to do so. And I have an opportunity to meet a lot of these people. So as I was progressing, it became quite easier for me to have all of these people helping me out. Then in 2022, in April 2022, that is when I actually got to know about Global Talent Visa. So my first time knowing it was 2022, April. And then that was in first week in April. So when I got to see it, I just like, okay, looks very fantastic. I mean, it's obvious that I'll be able to make the endorsement once I apply. So when I read more about the Global Talent Visa, what I got to know was it is a type of visa that is given to people in different fields. But the three significant fields that we look at is people who are working in tech, people who are researchers, or people who are working in creative arts industry. And in all of these, there are criteria that are supposed to be followed, which are mostly equally, but depending on what you are looking at. So for you to have that, you are required to meet a lot of requirements. And some of these requirements were things that I know that I could meet them because, like I said, I've been doing this for quite a long time. And I've established connections with all of these people that I know that when I need recommendations from, I wouldn't have a struggle to do so. So I could put out my application in 10 days because I have like almost everything that I needed and to be able to do so. And that's how come I was able to make my application by the 13th of April. And by 28th of April, I had my endorsement from Tech Nation. So the question will be, what is Tech Nation and what do they do? So like I mentioned, Global Talent Visa is available to people of three different professions, like people coming from the technology, people coming from the creative art, and people who are researchers. One of the requirements is that for you to be accepted to get the Global Talent Visa, you first need to go through a stage of getting an endorsement. So it's either you have an endorsement or you have an award, of which that award is recognized by the UK. With such an award, you don't need to get an endorsement. You just use that award to apply for the visa. And then if you don't have the endorsement, that means you need to apply for the endorsement. So those of us in tech, if you want to get an endorsement, the endorsing body for us is the Tech Nation. So Tech Nation takes all the applications, go over all of them based on your requirement, look at them, whether you've met them, and then they give you the endorsement within 3 to 8 weeks. There are criteria for those who get 3 weeks because we call that one fast-tracked application, and they are also used for the 8 weeks. So for you to get the 3 weeks endorsement, it means that you should have demonstrated during your application that one, you are on or you have been given what we call, or you have been accepted to what we call an accelerator program. So UK do have accelerator programs, of which these programs allow applicants to come to the UK and then work on maybe an idea or work with a company under the acceleration. So one of those accelerator programs is one run by a platform called Founders Factory. There's Zinc, there is Founders Academy, like all of these accelerator programs that you can apply to with your idea. And then once the idea, you've been able to go through everything and you've been accepted, that means that you qualify as under the fast track. Another way is if you don't are not on the accelerator program, but have started interviewing with maybe a company, and these startups of these accelerator projects, like Founders Factory, for example, have a lot of startups working under them. So those startup has funding. You might have applied for a role within these startups. They look at it and they say, okay, you look good. During your application for this global talent visa, you could actually state it in it that you are working with these startup, or you have started an application with this startup, and then when they look at it, you can be given the 3 weeks, or within the 3 weeks, your application can be considered, of which you can be given the global talent visa. If not, then that means you have to go through the 8 weeks, of which you, of course, your endorsement will still be given, but because of the time, that may be another problem. But I mean, like I said, it's within 3 to 8 weeks, endorsement will be given to you. So technician requirements are quite straightforward. And like I said, once you have been able to build your career over time, whenever you need those endorsements, like the requirements, the evidence is up to 10. You're supposed to provide up to a maximum of 10 evidence to show or to demonstrate that you are actually in that field, as we said. One of it is, the first thing that is more important is what we call recommendation letters. Now, these recommendation letters are compulsory. There are 3 of them. And these 3 recommendation letters can come from, one, a person that you are working with or you have worked with. And such person should be in a leadership position, or the leader of the company which you are working with, or in a management position. So in a tech space, for example, it can be your CEO, it can be your director, it can be your CTO. These are people who are deemed as credible. And so once they write the recommendation for you, detailing, one, when you join your company, what you have been doing for the company, that shows that you have been demonstrating these criteria as a data scientist, as a data analyst, as a machine learning engineer, as a data engineer, as an AI engineer, all of that in it. Should be able to detail in the recommendation letter some of the things that you have been doing for the company and how they have been beneficial to the company. So all of that, those details are needed to make the recommendation letter a solid one. Remember that when you send a recommendation letter, you're not going to be there to tell them that, here, I wanted to say this, or here, I wanted to say, I mean that. It has to be clear, very simple grammar, very concise, and then be able to justify your position for which you are applying for the global talent visa. So 3 of that. So for example, if you have worked with, you are lucky and I've worked with 3 different organizations, then you can get one from each of them. If you are in the same organization over time, then that means that you have a lot of people in the organization, like those in top positions, of which you can always reach out to provide you these 3 recommendations. Like I said, these 3 are compulsory and you need to provide them. The next set of evidence is also on references, or still on recommendations. But you can get 2 from where a place you might have been given mentorship to. I think in the earlier submission, a friend said mentorship is a good way to demonstrate how you have been helpful in the field. So for example, when I was talking, I spoke about the fact that I was going to platforms to speak. I was going to schools whenever they had projects or programs related to data science, AI stuff, and I was doing all of that because I needed it. And I just knew that one day I'll come back to these people to provide me a recommendation to demonstrate that, yes, some time back, or for the past years, I've been helping their students, even doing their thesis work, which of course They were doing topics in data science, and I came to help them out. Other times, they were having boot camps. I went there to help them out in their learnings. Other times, they wanted to design a curriculum. I was around to do all of that. So these can be universities or can be what we call an organization, like what we have these days, like hubs all over us. So hubs like Data Science Nigeria, like all of these hubs tend to have programs they run. So even if you have been able to provide them mentorship, it means that you are a good person and they can write a recommendation to fulfill with the fact that, yes, we remember that between this year, we're running this program to help over 300 students from all over the country to learn about cloud computing, to learn about data science. You were here to help them with their learnings. We provided them this, provided them that. The end result was that out of these 300, 200 of them decided to pursue this, decided to pursue that. You were the principal person responsible for all of that they did. And we deem you as a good person. We think that when you are given the endorsement, you want an opportunity to explore or do what you have been doing over here to the other part of the world. And you feel that the UK is a good place for you to do that. So you state all of that, and they can state all of that on the reference letter for you. And that means that now you have 5 evidence. That's 3 compulsory plus these 2 references from a university or a hub supporting you. Then the next one, you can actually have another reference letter, but this time around also coming from a university or an international NGO that knows about the work that you do. So the university knows about you being a data scientist or an AI engineer, empowering people with this, with that. You are partnered with their student unions on campuses. You have been running programs with them. Students have been benefiting. You have been running projects supporting students who don't have laptops, who have laptops to learn about basic coding and all of that. All of these comes together to also demonstrate that the university or this NGO knows about your work. And so they can also put an additional reference to support you. Then you have 6 now. Now you have other 4 to add. And these 4 can come from an open source project that you have been part of. So for example, there are a lot of data science platforms now. For example, there's Zindi in Africa, which organizes a lot of data science hackathons and projects and others, for which you can actually be part of it. And doing these Zindi programs or projects, once you are part of it, it means that you are contributing to something that so problem that they solved. You have links to that. You have links to those projects that you did. It is an additional evidence that you can use to show that you have been part of a project like that. Then it can be a high level profile program of which you spoke there or you made a presentation there. It can be a research paper that you did or a term paper that you presented at research program. This is also an additional evidence that you can add to what you have already. So by the time you're done, you'll be able to add about 3 or 4 of that, and that will total up to the 10 evidence that you need to be able to make your application. The other thing is, during the application, you're supposed to write what we call a statement of purpose. Now, a statement of purpose is supposed to be up to 1,000 words maximum. These 1,000 words should be able to justify who you are. So in all of the recommendations letters can be written by people for you, but for the statement of purpose, it's you. Even if it's someone writing for you, you should be able to present you. So you, who are you? How did you start your journey? What have you been doing in your journey? Where are you now in that journey? And where do you want to go next in that journey? And why you think that the UK is the best for you in that journey? So it has to be systematic. Okay. Even if you are still going to start from when you were a child, you were interested in computers, you were interested in this and all of that, interested in mathematics. Good. But where does it go next? So you're able to go to the university to read mathematics, to read actuarial science, to read statistics, to read computer science, to read computer engineering. Okay. During those courses, what did you do? So I did a project of which I had data of about 100 million or 1 million rows. It was data about electricity connections in our country, how we can use neural network to build faults in the system so that we can run an efficient electricity. During my thesis work, I use a regression method, I use a classification method, like all of that we demonstrated on it. And this project was able to be taken up by this or that. So from then, when you started working in the industry, you were more interested about using some of these. That's why you ended up going to work in a financial sector, working in an energy sector. When you went there, you started solving problems using these neural network that you're talking about. Like you are giving a strict, like step-by-step approach on all of that. And so from then, you've been doing this, and now you are even the senior data scientist in your company. Even when you came, there were no data science team in the company, but because of all of these that you were doing, the company set up a data science team. You were the first person. You were able to bring about 4 people, which you mentored them to become data scientists. And it became a routine thing you are now doing in the company. So now everybody in the other department are even learning about data science. All of these have been something that you have been doing. Now you want to move on with your career by expanding. So you went on to even set up a club or a small institution somewhere in some institutions or public high schools or junior high school that you were teaching them about computing and all of that. You have been able to demonstrate what you are doing now. So what do you want to do next? You're like, okay, UK has a very enviable education or academic platform or grounds. I mentioned like Google has DeepMind in UK, Meta has an experimentation lab in the UK, Amazon has this in the UK, attracting talent from top schools like Imperial, from Oxford, from Cambridge. Now, the Turing Institute, which formed in honor of Alan Turing, first computer scientist to do this, blah, 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 blah. Like, so you are actually forming on why you think that the UK is the best. And these things, you have to write them when you are very current. Like everything you are saying should demonstrate that you know what you are talking about and you know what you are about. When you're able to demonstrate all of this and your 1,000 words is up to, then you can click on, make a very good CV. In addition, the CV should be able to also detail everything that you have been doing, but shouldn't include your junior high school because nobody needs it. Or senior high school, nobody needs that. Your university, like from there, if you have done masters, you have done any other certifications and all of that, if you've written papers, if you have worked, be able to like present it in order of that. You don't need reference on your CV because you have already provided very good reference or references whom they are needed for this and not those references on your CV. Now, going forward, you have been able to provide all of this. So you can put in your application for technician. Once technician accept the application and give you endorsement, that means that you are about 99% done and you're on your way to the UK to come and stay here. So in the first process, of course, there is fees involved. The endorsement itself, I think, cost about 600 and I don't remember the figure, but it's around 620 pounds. And for the endorsement, that's a part one of the visa process. Once the endorsement is given, Home Office will send you an email to tell you that, hey, yes, you have got the endorsement. So you can go ahead with your second step, which is to apply for the visa itself. A visa will cost you about £157 or so. But your stay in the UK is dependent on your payment of a health fee. So what do we call the health surcharge? That is about £124 per year. And your visa is valid on two things. There are two visas that are granted under the Global Talent Visa. One is to exceptional talent and to exceptional promise. So the exceptional talent is given to people who are already leaders in their field. For example, you might be that they have established a hub of which you are training people. You have set up a software company or data science company, which are helping people like solving problems and all of that. You are a leader. So you apply for the exceptional talent. Then for people like us who are employees and demonstrating all of the things that we do, we apply for the exceptional promise. When you're under the exceptional talent, that means that you will have just 3 years to stay in the UK, and then you apply for your indefinite leave to remain. That is your settlement. When you're under promise, like myself, we have 5 years to stay until we can apply for our indefinite. So, for example, I can apply for my indefinite by the year 2027. If someone came to the same year with me, that means that person can apply for indefinite in the year 2025. The condition during the application for your indefinite, like I said, or during the visa processes, because you are applying for the visa and it's your number of stays the number of years you want to stay in the UK is dependent on your health that you pay. And I said the health itself costs about £624 per year. That means that if you are doing 5 years at a go, you are paying about £3,120. This can be very expensive at a go. So all you can do is that you can apply for a year or two. But that's the initial, you make an initial application. That initial application can be a year or 2 or 3. Then when you are in, you can apply for an extension of that year. So for example, when I was coming, I applied for a year. Then just when I go here, I recently applied for an extension of that. You can always do that until your 5 years is exhausted, and then now you can apply for your indefinite. During every year, you are expected to stay in the UK for more than 180 years, 180 days. So in every year, just make sure you are in the UK for more than 180 days. When you're here for 180 days, that means that during your application for your indefinite, it is counted as part of it. Okay. But if you don't stay in the UK for, let's say you are applied for the 5 years at a go, then during one particular year, if you didn't stay in the UK for the whole year, that means that you can't go and apply for your indefinite because you are not in the country for like a particular year. So it don't count for that. So you have to apply for another year under the Global Talent Visa before, when that 5 years is done, completed, you can now apply for your indefinite. That is how it works. And it will be known. I mean, you don't have to tell Iceman. It will just already known on when you were in the country, when you went out of the country. So that wouldn't be a challenge at all. Then you can apply for your indefinite, and then after your indefinite, you're on your way to become a citizen or whatever you may want to do. I mean, that is up to you. Questions around getting jobs, your stay here, whether you can come with your family. Yes, you can travel with your family if you are married. Even if you are not married and you have a girlfriend whom you can, or boyfriend, not only the guys. So if you have a boyfriend, you feel like, yeah, this is a guy I want to stay with, you can actually travel with her or him to the UK. All you show is that you just, during application, you show that, hey, this is my unmarried partner I'm traveling with. they'll be going, okay, what shows? You can demonstrate that, okay, we live together or we don't live together, but we have evidence here, we have accounts together, we have business together, he or she flies to me or travel to me. These are the evidence. So like pictures, a lot of things can be used to prove that you guys are indeed together, all of that. Then, I mean, that is it. So, I mean, those are the interesting bits and part of like the visa application itself and all of the things that you need to be able to be a global talent. What about your stay in the UK? How is it like? How is it like finding jobs? I mean, jobs are just like the way you apply for jobs everywhere. Jobs is about determination. It's about what you want and how you want it to be. Of course, I would say that the market now is quite a bit down, but when you make applications, like you can see a lot of job vacancies all over. The only thing that I think you need to be able to do is under the global talent visa. That means that you can work, like you can stay in any part of the UK you actually want. You can stay in Scotland, you can stay in England, you can go to Ireland, you can stay in Wales. Like it's up to you. But the point is, it's up to you. Like I said, industries are booming in a lot of cities like London, of course. London is where you can find everything. Manchester is a good place to stay. Edinburgh is a good place to stay. Bristol, Leeds, these are all growing places with a lot of tech jobs. And so depending on where you want to stay, everybody talks about, yeah, London is an expensive place to live. Yeah, that is true. So you have your choice. But I would say that whenever I travel to the UK, I think it would be a good thing to stay in London to experience some of the things before you can probably talk about, hey, I've got to the point where I have family, I want to move out and then go and stay probably outside of London or go and stay maybe in Scotland or something. Like it all depending on how you want it to be. But just when you enter the country, like you're on your own, global talent visa doesn't require you to have a bank account with any money in it. You don't need anything. Global talent doesn't require you to go and present any bank statement to proof of funds. Like you don't need anything. You just need yourself. The very moment you are given the visa, you just enter the country. You can even come here with no bag, nothing. Just enter the country and just go look for anything where you want to stay because you're on your own. Nobody cares about what you want to do. You can do anything that you want to do so far as you want the global talent visa. And that is an exceptional tier 1 visa. So you can imagine the thing that comes with it. I mean, when you are looking for a job, anybody who wants to like employ you, we just ask you. Sometimes they ask if you have if you require sponsorship and say, hey, you don't need sponsorship because you are sponsored yourself. Like nobody cares about whether you have sponsorship or not. Like you don't need those ones. So the company that you're going to be working for don't need to worry about that because in the UK one thing is some companies may want to employ you by saying you don't have the right to work. So that means that if they are not on the list of companies that sponsor, that means they can't sponsor you. But on the global talent visa, no, you don't need any of that. Like I said, just you can even come without a bag, enter the country. When you start looking for jobs, nobody cares about whether you have what you call sponsorship because you don't need it. Okay. And then, like I said, you can live anywhere you want. Finding jobs there, like I said, it is not an easy thing. Like I'll be honest with you. When I entered the country in July, I was working for a Ukrainian company mostly then. So when I entered the country, I worked until August ending. And I was like, I want to take a break. I don't want to work again. So I took a break for a month and I started interviewing. I interviewed for a couple of companies, were in different stages. And then by, I think, September, so August, September, I got an offer from one company where I felt like this is where I want to be. So I just say no to all the rest do all the rest that I was interviewing. I didn't even send them an email again. When they called, I was like, hey, I've already accepted an offer. I don't want to continue with any interview process anywhere near again. So that was it. And like I said, it just within that a month, like I was already done with getting a role. So yeah, that is what I can say about the global talent visa. If there was anything that I didn't mention, probably in the questions, I will be able to answer them as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you. That was really granular. That was really, I think you answered most of my questions in the process. All right. That was really good. Thank you very much for taking time to answer this question. We will go back to your background and talk about data science, right? And ask the first question is, is data science, did it give you an edge? Because there's a buzz around data science, data analytics at the moment. So when you were applying for your technician endorsement, did you feel like you got an edge because you were a data scientist?
When I started, I think I felt like, well, I'm not. It was a difficult one beginning it, but I just felt like I think I have an edge because of the work that I have done in the past year, and so I wasn't so much worried making the application. I just based it on the fact that yes, I've done this work over the past year, and so this one should be able to like give me. And I just also took my time to read a lot about the requirement before I made the application, and also make sure that everybody who was writing the recommendation letter for me actually wrote it to fit what exactly the requirements were. So these were very important to me when I was making the application, and I think these were the reasons why I got my endorsement on the first step.
All right. So I have a job question in the chat. Someone is asking, what's the acceptability rates getting data jobs there compared to Africa? You know.
Yeah, I think the industry is here. The industry is in advanced countries rather than the African country, because in the African market, if 10 jobs are advertised today, the probability that you see even a single of them being a data role is hard. But over here, it is very easy to just go into a job site and say you want to filter for jobs in data science, and you get a whole lot of them all showing up. So you have a pool of talent. When you look at applications online, for example, like on LinkedIn, if you look at maybe a job has been advertised, a lot of people have applied. But with that, doing the shortlisting, so that they are going to drill down to those who actually meet the requirement that they are looking for. And so by the time they're done, out of 200 applications, probably only 19 or 20 of them makes up to the shortlisting, and they start interviewing. And during the interview, to also realize that, hey, we have to also go down to about just 5 of them and then take them to the final stage, and then that's it. So, I mean, it's always about the number of jobs that you can find. Of course, you have to do a lot of applications, like you have to, but the point is, in your job search, you have to be a bit careful, you have to be a bit smarter in the applications itself. Some of the jobs that you see online, when you see the job being posted, you have to go beyond just applying by then looking at who posted the job, whether you can send them a personalized message to look at how you can actually build that rapport with them first, even after the application, whether or not you can leave your contact, and then they can easily call that, hey, I saw your application that you have made to the company. Can you have some time to chat with us so that we get to know you more better? Because they are going to be shortlisting you and then present you to the hiring manager before the hiring manager can talk about, okay, these 5 applications, I'm going to continue with 2 and then leave the 3 out. So by the time you are there, you just see a message that, hey, we are not going to have to continue with the application because you just saw that, hey, you were not fit enough for that because you didn't have any conversation with anyone. Because of that, you can't be shortlisted for that. So you need to go beyond just applying. But for number of jobs, yes, and almost every single day, there are new ones that are coming to the market that you can apply for.
Fantastic. Let's talk about your ecosystem that you came from Ghana.
Yeah.
Right. How easy was it for you to get recommendation letters when you were applying? Did you work with everybody, and were all the recommendation letters from Ghana, or did you get any outside Ghana?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, my recommendation letters were from people that I've worked with over the years since I started my journey. And one thing that I always say is we need to invest in knowing people. We need to always invest in making sure that we build relationship with people. Of course, when I started this journey, I'll have a platform to speak somewhere, and I have to speak to the students or the people for free because I need it, not that they need me. So you go and speak at events for free, you do things for people for free because you need to build that connections with them so that in the future, when you need them, you can always come back to them and they will give it to you. So it was more of almost all of them were people that most of them, it was just by a message on WhatsApp that, hey, I've got this YouTube application that I'm doing. I need a recommendation letter from you. So it's okay, no problem. Some of them were getting it back to me within a day. Some of them were doing it in 3 days and then in 4 days. So I could gather, like I said, I could gather all of those requirements within just a week because, like I said, I've built this relationship over years and it was that quite easy. And this is where I would just advise everyone. I mean, we have students who complete university and then when you ask them that, hey, go and take a recommendation letter from your school, and they'll be like, I don't know any lecturer. But I mean, if you don't know any lecturer for 4 years that you spent in the university, how then do you get somebody to just give you a recommendation letter when you need them? So you need to always try as much as possible to invest in the people that you are working with. Make sure you build a very long-lasting relationship with them. Whether the very moment you know that the future, there's more to the future than what you are doing now, you have to be more conscious with the kind of relationship you build with people.
All right, fantastic. Fantastic. Do we have questions, guys? So in recommendation letter, someone is asking, do you tell them exactly what to write in the recommendation letter?
Yeah, fun fact is you can actually write your own recommendation letter and then give it to them to put it on the official document that you need or the official letterhead, because you need to be on an official document to actually represent the brand that is giving the recommendation letter and the person as well. So their address, if they have an official mail, not mostly the personal mail, but company mail, mostly that is more recognized and we need that more often. So, I mean, you can, if you are not going to write it for them, you have to detail exactly the area that they need to touch on to be able to represent you, that they know you and that this actually is you. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. What is your assessment in terms of technician in Ghana? Because it feels like, we don't have a lot of applicants coming from that region. Is there a reason why there's low adoption rates in Ghana?
So when I got to the UK, one of the things that I wanted to actually know was to know whether or not there were Ghanaians who have been endorsed under the Global Talent Visa. And so I did check up on it, and I actually saw 2 other Ghanaians who were on our alumni Slack channel. And I started talking to some of them, and I got to know when they got their endorsement and all of that. But within the data science space, that ecosystem that I was part in building in Ghana, there were actually nobody within this space yet who had then got endorsement. And because it was a new ecosystem, You know, you didn't get so much of the people who have gone beyond probably the level some of us have actually gone to. So it is more or less like people give up along the line because, I mean, well, how am I doing this? Like, what is the end goal? We are not even getting jobs. We are just learning every day, doing project and then posting on GitHub, on posting on Kaggle. Like, I mean, what I thought is in the end for me. So, I mean, lack of mentors and then the will were actually one of the reasons why we're not getting a lot of Ghanaians into it. So, one thing is, even if we decide to like help 200 people in data science today to make the application, the chances of even 20 of them getting is quite difficult because like we've not had a very consistent work or mentors to be able to help them in doing that. But what is happening now is I think few of them are now taking up it seriously. And so for some of them who I personally coach, I tell them, yeah, we need about 2-3 more years to work and then stay in the field before you can actually make this application. So you need to be relaxing, continue studying while we pursue this. And some of these are the way that we can use to get a lot of people to apply for it.
Yeah, thank you. That leads to a question we have here. Someone is saying, can working on a Kaggle competition be also sufficient for the open source project reference? Right. Is that sufficient?
Kaggle competitions itself are not competitions that people in Africa can actually partake. You mostly partake in it when the competition is done. So you can actually have your notebook on Kaggle, but you're not actually going to be ranked in the competition. And so, like I mentioned, there is a platform like Zindi. Zindi is a good platform where you can actually be part of their competitions and then be able to grow your data science story or like what you are doing. There's also another platform called Omdena. Omdena also hosts a lot of open source projects. So when you are putting a team on Omdena, then you can actually work on a project together and then add it to your portfolio, which is a good way to also demonstrate your skill.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You spoke about investing in relationships and building relationship along the line, right? Are there, recommendation in terms of channels where people can join? We often hear LinkedIn. Are there tricks, on LinkedIn that you can recommend to people? Are there other platforms that promote networking, because people, it's kind of, especially when you're in Africa, it's difficult to make the necessary connections sometimes because you don't have access to these people.
Yeah. So we don't get to have like access to people like in person, especially because of COVID that actually opened our eyes to like a more interesting way of having conversations with people virtually. So for example, I think in many of the times I meet some of my guys here in London and we'll be like, yeah, this is our first time meeting. We have connected for by years and this is our first time meeting. I remember one time we hosted a Russian guy who's like a grandmaster on Kaggle on like one of our mentorship sessions that we're having. And I just got to know about this guy because we connected on LinkedIn and I sent him a message that, hey, I want him to speak on a platform to actually motivate students to come into data science. And he said, oh, don't worry, I'll be joining. So on the program, he came to join. And then later on, I realized he left Russia to UK. He's here in the UK, came to work for Meta. And then later he left Meta to join another company. Then later, when I joined the Global Talent Visa Alumni Network, I realized that he's also on the Global Talent Visa Network. So, I mean, it was just as seamless as it was. On building network, I think, like I said, everybody who writes recommendations letter for you are people that you're going to know in your real life. So there are people you work with, there are people you see every day in your community, there are people you have known in the university. One thing is when you're in the university, we tend not to have a lot of good relationship with our lecturers, with our like department, with our college, or in the faculty and all of that. And I think this is something that we need to be doing, because at any point when you want to even collaborate, let's say you want to form a small club under your department or your college, where you want students under that department who are just in first year to start learning about data science, and you want the approval of the department so that they will allow you to use maybe a classroom to be able to do so. It is based on relationship that you have built with them. And so you need to be able to demonstrate this first before you can go out to do it. Then later, when you even need a job, you come to the job market, it's these same people that you need to be able to do so. There are a lot of groups these days on Twitter, on LinkedIn that you can join to start building a relationship with. But like I said, it starts from in person. It starts from the very person who's around you. Because one of the things that I was doing in my early days is I used to write a blog, and in the blog I share with my friends who I had their contact on WhatsApp. So I share with them. Those that are good will share with other people. And these other people will get to know about, hey, this Derek does something in AI. So anytime they are talking about AI somewhere, the first person they are going to mention is, oh, I know a guy called Derek who does this and that. That is how your network keeps expanding. So this thing that you want to start learning data science today, make sure you are expanding it by making people know, making your friends know about it. Your friends don't have to be data scientists, but the fact that they show interest in saying that you have written this, I want to post it for other people to see. More people see it, and the more they see it, the more you get recommended by other people to keep knowing about it. And the next thing you realize is they have a program they are speaking. They want you to come and speak there, come and make your presentation. Other people get to know you from there, and the more you do that, the more you expand it. So I would just say about that.
Keep building that network and keep the contact alive. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. We're gradually coming to the end of our conversation. So guys, if you have questions, please drop it in the chat. All right. Derek, we have a traditional question we ask everybody that comes to the stage, right? And is a question that speaks to three category of people who are usually represented in the audience. Yeah. One is tech enthusiasts that are looking to get into tech, looking to get into data science, as the case may be. What would be your advice to them in relation to them, getting into tech and moving into a new market, like accessing global talent? We also have people that are already in tech, but they're trying to make that decision. Is this a good move for me, right? Should I be considering global talent right now? They're already in tech, and what should I be doing? Should I be considering global talent right now? And the last category are the experts in the room who are top of the chain where they are, and moving into a new market might be scary for them because they've gotten to the top, in their own existing ecosystem. What advice would you give to these three categories of people represented in the audience today?
I think one thing I would say is everybody has got an opportunity, and I think the career that you want to, grow or build start from somewhere. And at every point, you need to grow it to somewhere. And so your growth is based on what you are doing now and how you want it to reach other people. So if your interest is to make sure that your that career path that you have chosen is heard by people around the world, then it will be a good thing to make a step towards getting it outside somewhere. I think the benefit is, it is like I mentioned, in our part of the world, generally it's quite difficult making that kind of a successful data science career now in our part of the world. I mean, we don't even have that. We don't even have people like we can actually say that we have made a successful journey or successful career in data science in Africa, like currently. But the thing that the aid that it gives is that once you go out and then be able to work in a lot of like industry with all of this experience and your story, you can always give back to where you came from to help grow another network of people who also need that. So it's now increased our reach. Like remember that one of the things that we lack in Africa is the fact that we don't have a lot of mentors. We don't have a lot of people that we can look up to whenever somebody wants to build their career. Like it's not about our education system. Our education systems are the same as what the Europeans run, what the Americans run. But the only failure here is that we don't have a lot of industries where we have a lot of people working in those industries. So they can always be the people that our young people can look up to. But the problem that we have is that there are people living in universities today who don't know what they want to do with their lives because there's actually nobody they can actually look up to say that we are building this career with. And so the goal is the very moment you want to your hands touch on something that you want to do. Remember that I personally will say, I can't tell you like now, or I can't say that data science is the most fulfilled career that I find myself in because I'm still in the career growing it. But remember that there will be a time that you may see me and you never see me doing data science. It means is that I have found something that I am more interested in doing. And so that is how it goes. Like Bill Gates said like last weekend, he thought that all his life he was going to work for Microsoft. But today, he doesn't even do anything for Microsoft. He does more philanthropic things than even Microsoft. It also tells you that the career will change anytime because you have family, you have other needs that are coming in. You need to expand, you need to take care of a lot of things. All of those would start defining this career to find yourself in. And like I said, when we come here, the good thing that we tend to have is we have an opportunity to network with others who are also in the profession, like coming from the America, coming from other European countries, coming from Asia, like all of these people come together. When we work, we are learning from what they do and how we can benefit from that. Then we take it from this and then come back home and then share with others. So we have projects that we can run back home and then get people to benefit. So if you are here, whichever state of the career that you find yourself, at any point in your life, you have to travel, not because it's for you, but because you need to give something back to your people. You have to give back, have to give something back to the continent. But the continent needs that. They need that more than what you think that you are doing for yourself. We all need to be able to give back something to our people. And that is the reason why you need to always find a way to migrate. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Derek. Thank you for your time. You have been totally spot on this evening. And thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for inspiring us with your journey. Hope we can call on you subsequent edition to come share more as you journey in the UK and as you build your career further in the UK, right? And also we have data science enthusiasts in the house who will be looking for mentors within the data science field. We would also solicit your support to help mentor some of these data science enthusiasts that we have within our ecosystem who are looking for mentors. Thank you. Right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful for your time.
No worries at all. Thank you very much. I'm just going to run through some updates as regards to technician updates.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. So I'm just going to give a few updates If you're looking at technician, you've heard from Derek. If you're interested in taking the conversation forward, you want to apply for a technician endorsement process, endorsement application, endorsement application. We have coaches in the house that you can talk to. Kindly send a message, an SMS, a WhatsApp message to the numbers you see on the screen, right? And we would get in touch with you. We'll contact you back just to understand what stage you are in. If you're still building your portfolio, you're still building the application process, or if you have you are close to submission and you just need somebody to proofread and so on to review to make sure you have your best foot forward. We have people who do it, who would volunteer their time internally, coaches who can walk you through any of those processes. So take advantage. If you're interested and you need help with your application in any phase at all, inquiry is free. Like I always say, just ask questions. The worst the response will be, we don't know how to do it, or we don't have an idea what you're talking about. But there might just be, oh, this is how it is done, and these are the proven track record that has given good results that you can leverage on. All right, so take advantage of that. We have tech career coaching service open to, so we have coaching and guidance through recruitment stages, right? If you're open to new opportunity, you're actively applying for a role. Derek talked about application. Derek talked about getting a job, applying for a job when he got in the UK, right? So there's tech career coaching service that we offer. We can help you review your profile. We can help you with CV assessment. We can help you prepare for recruiter calls, right? And also help you prepare for interview stages, the first stage, second stage, where we talk about cultural fit, hiring decision, how to position yourself rightly for those stages. If you're looking for a visa that comes with work sponsorship, visa sponsorship, if you're looking for a job that comes with work visa sponsorship, there are coaching around that, there are guidance through those stages that we can offer you. Again, these are experiences that people have gone through and they are documented and are sharing it. So it's not the rule. It's not the official standard. I have to put it out there. It's somebody has gone through the process and have documented it. A lot of people have gone using this documentation, have gone through the process and have gotten success, and we are sharing those information. Now we have tech career coaching. We have UK work experience. This is how we can help. Right, auto job serve. This is some of the service that we can help with if you are in that phase looking for a job in the UK. And you don't have to be in the UK to look for a job. There are people outside of the UK that got job from outside of the UK, and the job gave them work visa sponsorship that brought them into the UK. And some are working remotely from Africa, from Asia, and they don't have to come to the UK, but they work for a UK domiciled company. Right, so don't shy away from this opportunity. A lot has been on the news around technician, and the question is technician shutting down? The Technician Global Talent Visa program remains open for application until further notice. That is the information we have. So if you want to apply, this is a good time to apply because, as we have seen, there's a talk of transition for technician. That transition has not fully happened yet. And once that transition is done, we know that there will be change of criteria. We suspect that there will be change in criteria, change in process that will kick in. So you want to take advantage of the process that's established now to apply, right? And get your application through the door as quickly as possible. And so technician hasn't shut down yet. Technician Global Talent Visa remains open, and you can apply from any part of the world. Even if you're in the UK, you can apply, right? So if you're a student looking to transition into the technician visa, you can apply. All right. There are some updates that came in April, right? Eligibility criteria update that came in April that technician published. By the way, these informations are on technician.io. They are in public domain, so we don't have special privileges to this information. These are information that are in the general domain. You can go on technation.io and you will see the new updates. Typically will be shared there, so you can go validate these information, right? So eligibility criteria, updated exceptional promise criteria wordings to match updated immigration rules. Updated note that exceptional promise application can have a longer career in another type of work, right? So that speaks to business. If you're applying the business side of tech, or you speak to, data science, for example, it speaks to DevOps, for example, you can have longer career in those type. It mustn't be, product type, digital products alone that you have worked in. You can also submit your career, evidence of you being in a longer career other than what's it called? How do I put it? Other than what you are applying against, which is exceptional promise, which looks at digital products, right? So if you have done 10 years in, let's say, tech management before you went into building a startup, they want to know what you have done before. You've done startup in 3 years and you're using that to apply. You can also put evidence that, I've done management in tech before starting my startup. That will be additional. Of course, with your proof, that will be additional criteria that they are willing to consider. The documentation checklist, Derek did such a fantastic job explaining the 10 documentation and how to go about it, right? Technician, I've added requirement for at least 2 unique piece of evidence per criteria, 2 unique piece of evidence for criteria. So if you want to know what is the definition of unique according to Technician, I would ask you to go to technician.io, or I will ask you to join our eMigr8 community where we discuss on these criteria at length and expand on it, because time will not permit us to start digging into every updates that we have here. And also documented checklists and notes. So go through technician.io and go through joining our communities. This would help you and give you more information, more insight, and more understanding of what is available, right? Technician Visa has free resource online, right, that you can take advantage of. If you're just a startup owner and you want to learn about, how do I raise Series A, how do I raise Series B, deal breakers, how do I network, how do I connect to investors, there's a huge library of information that Technician has made available, right? Please do well to take advantage of those information. Again, if you go to technician.io, you would see the links to these informations, to these library documentations that you can take advantage of. So it's free. They have completely free resource. You just have to register and join in, right? So that has been our open day session for the month of May. And Derek has done fantastic, giving us details, information, making it simple for us to pick and understand. If you have any more questions, please, send them through into our communities, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, on Telegram. Telegram is what I was trying to remember. We have communities around there. We're open to answering any question that you have, right? So thank you everyone for sharing your evening with us. And hopefully you have gotten a lot more information to take your application to the next phase. Thank you, everybody, and do have a good day.